Welcome back to my paranormal experiences. This is part 3. So, my daughter said that she saw her dad and he had crawled down the wall across my bed onto the floor and then sat in front of her on the floor, and he had red glowing eyes. That scared the crap out of me. So I could not stay in that room anymore. My dad prayed over it again, and it didn't help me to want to go back in there, because I didn't know what was coming in there with red glowing eyes crawling across my bed that I was in, sleeping. Fast forward, my daughter was 6. Me and Brandy, one of my best friends, and I and Faith had went to the grocery store, Kroger, and I had just pulled into a parking spot, and I had gotten Faith out, and I had her on my hip, and this lady was coming out of Kroger and was going to her car, and as she was coming towards us, Faith looked at her, and as she was almost directly right near us, my daughter says, "Mama, she's gonna die." That lady turned around and looked at me. I'm like, I am so sorry. I don't know what she's talking about. And the lady just like, okay, they're kind of weird. Well, that freaked me out, because I wouldn't allow my kid to watch scary movies at her age, because I know that would give her nightmares. So where she got that from, I have no clue, and she's never done that ever since. Well, it scared Brandy as well, and we just got back in the car. I didn't even go into the grocery store, because that blew me away, and I never asked my daughter about it again. So moving forward, we moved from Georgia to Tennessee. I lived in Murray County, and I had met a guy, and I moved in with him. We got an apartment, and I was in the middle of moving stuff into the house and putting things up. And at that moment in time, my daughter, Faith, was living with my mom and dad in Tennessee. And they were about, I'd say, 45 minutes away from where I was living. And so my mom dropped my daughter off for her to spend the weekend with me. So I was all good for that. I was game for it. So I was putting things up, and she was playing, watching cartoons on TV. And it was time for her to go to bed. So I got her snuggled into my bed and had music going for her, and I said her prayers with her, and I gave her a kiss, and I cracked the door just a little bit so some light could come in there for her. And I went back into the living room and was still unpacking stuff, and I was watching something on TV. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I would say about a good 30-45 minutes later, I start hearing my daughter talking in my bedroom. And I'm like, why? Who is she talking to? There's nobody else but me and her there. My ex-boyfriend, or my boyfriend at the time, he was working. So I just knew, who is she talking to? So I go over and, just lean into the door just to listen. And she's just having a full-blown conversation with nothing. So I open the door. I'm like, baby, who are you talking to? And she's like, Mama, there's a girl. She came out of your closet, and her name is Daniela, and she won't let me go to sleep. She wants to play. I'm like, I remember when I put my daughter to sleep, or laid her down for bed, my closet door was shut. But now when I walked in there, my closet door was wide open. And she said, yeah, she came out of the closet. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, wow. kids have imaginations. I'm like, all right, baby, we'll just tell her, you'll play with her tomorrow. It's time for your bedtime. And I gave her a kiss and she went to sleep. Everything was fine the rest of the night. Nothing else happened. The next night, my mom came to pick her up and everything was fine. I told her what we did and they left. And I was in the kitchen washing dishes and putting things up. And it was about a good 4 hours later. My phone rings. And my ex, he picked it up and he's like, it's your mom. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, put her on speakerphone while I was doing dishes. I'm like, yeah, Mom, what's up? What did you allow Faith to watch while she was at your house? I was like, Cartoon Network? I was like, why? And she's like, well, I gave her dinner. I made dinner for her, and she went to her room like she normally does to watch cartoons and TV before she goes to bed. And my mom was in the kitchen putting up dinner and everything. And my daughter's bedroom at that point in time was like right off the kitchen. And so she said she was in the kitchen putting things up. And she heard my daughter talking in her bedroom. And she thought, okay, she grabbed the phone and she called me or something. And she was talking to me on the phone. And my mom looks over at the phone cradle. The phone's right there. So who was she talking to? My dad was in his shop and it was just my mom and her in the house. So she goes to her bedroom. And before I finish this, my daughter has always been deathly afraid of the closet. Dark rooms, dark anything. My daughter cannot stand the dark. Well, my mom opens up her bedroom door and my daughter's sitting Indian style on the floor with the closet wide open in the dark. And my mom's like, what are you doing, Faith? And she's like, oh, I'm just talking to my best friend. She came from Mama's house. She followed me here. My mom's like, oh, okay. Interesting. And so she's like, what did you watch in front of her? I said, I did not watch anything that would scare her around her or let her hear it or nothing. And she's like, well, that's freaking weird because Faith is just sitting in her room talking to the closet. I was like, that's just weird. Okay, whatever. And I go on about my day. Well, months and months and months go by. My daughter still has this friend, Daniela, that she plays with. And my mom and dad and her went to Georgia to go and visit my brother, he was living with his family in our old house. So my daughter was in my brother's old bedroom where my nieces and nephews were sleeping. And my daughter scared my nieces and nephews because she was sitting Indian style on the floor, looking at the closet, talking to nothing. And she told them that it was her friend Daniela. And how Daniela follows her everywhere. Well, I've just gotten enough of hearing about this Daniela. I don't know what's going on. And so I started to look for paranormal experts and seeing what this could be about. Well, anyways, one night I was in the kitchen, I was cooking and doing dishes, and my phone rang. No one knew that I was speaking with paranormal experts, not even my daughter. And the phone rang. Well, my daughter was like, you're not getting rid of Daniela. She hates you. She wants to kill you. You're not getting rid of her. And she hangs up the phone. Tell me, how does my child know that I'm trying to get rid of this thing? Stay tuned for part 4. And if you want your story shared on this channel, just email me your story at scaryskystories@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you.